Is Russia the same as the Soviet Union? Have you ever wondered if Russia today is the same as the Soviet Union? It's a fascinating question that takes us through history. The Soviet Union, officially known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, existed from 1922 to 1991. It was a federal socialist state made up of multiple republics, with Russia being the largest and most populous. Before the Soviet Union dissolved, Russia was known as the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. After 1991, Russia became an independent nation, marking a significant shift in its political and economic landscape. The Soviet Union was born out of the Russian Revolution of 1917. This revolution aimed to create the world's first constitutionally socialist state under the leadership of the Bolsheviks. The Soviet Union sought to implement socialism through a command economy and centralized planning. The government controlled production and distribution, aiming to create a classless society. Workers were promised guaranteed employment and access to social rights like healthcare and food. However, the reality was quite different. Under leaders like Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin, power became highly centralized within the Communist Party. This led to the suppression of grassroots movements and limited democratic participation. Many argue that the Soviet system became more bureaucratic and authoritarian, straying from the original ideals of socialism. The focus shifted to rapid industrialization and military strength, often at a high human cost. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Russia transitioned to a different political and economic system. It moved away from the command economy and centralized planning, embracing market-oriented reforms. While Russia retains historical and cultural ties to the Soviet era, it no longer operates under the socialist framework that defined the Soviet Union. Today, Russia is a capitalist state with a market economy. This marks a clear distinction from the socialist experiment of the Soviet Union. From a socialist viewpoint, the Soviet Union represented an attempt to build socialism, but it ultimately failed to achieve true socialism due to authoritarian control. In summary, while Russia and the Soviet Union are connected, they are not the same. The Soviet Union was a multi-republic socialist state, while Russia today is an independent nation with a capitalist economy. The legacy of the Soviet Union is complex, but it is essential to understand these differences to grasp the current state of Russia.